Hi, Zubia. The link is in the chat. Hi, Nicola. Just gonna make you co-host. Cool. Can you hear me like this? Just asking. Hey, while we wait, hi everyone. Um, we're gonna start at 5 minutes past 11, just to give everyone enough time to join. But while we wait, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, or you can unmute and just tell us your name and where you're dialing in from. Then we will introduce ourselves on a later stage as well, so you can have an idea of the people joining us today. So feel free to interact with us. We don't bite, we promise. I'm so happy. I'm seeing familiar faces and I'm seeing familiar names as well. This is good. Yet another episode. Good morning. How are you? Feel free to unmute and you can just introduce yourself. I know I've seen you a lot in the zones. Feel free to unmute, introduce yourself, and where you're dialing in from.
Good morning, Gugu, Zubi, and Nicola. I am Mashaba Onesimo. I'm currently in Giza.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm good, thanks. Thank you for joining us again this week.
Okay, thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Hi, Ntokozo. Ntokozo says, hi, everyone. I'm Ntokozo Lutuli. I'm currently in Joburg. Nice to meet you, Ntokozo. Anybody else want to introduce themselves and where they're dialing in from? Feel free to unmute while we wait. We will start our session at 5 minutes past 11, just to give everyone enough time. For those of you who just joined, hello. We will start our session at 11:05, but just to give enough time to people for joining. But while we at it, feel free to unmute to introduce yourself, tell us your name and where you're dialing in from. Or alternatively, you can type in the chats, introduce yourself there, and then we'll introduce ourselves on a later stage as well. So we have hi everyone. Orading Mohadiwang. I think I said that right. And I'm from Pretoria. Hi. Hi Orading. Then we have good morning everyone. I'm from Port Elizabeth. This is Susake Lama. Nice to meet you. Kuntle. Hi everyone. I'm Kuntle. Tuning in from Rustenburg. Oh, this is amazing. Nice to meet you, Kuntle. So no one wants to unmute. Damn. Okay.
Hi, I'm Nicola. I'm your colleague.
Hi, Nicola from Cape Town. Oh my God, now we have another one. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm from Cape Town. Chris is from Cape Town as well. At least this is another person from Cape Town.
She doesn't believe that we all live in the same country. Cape Town has different weather. It's supposed
Yes,
to be rainy
Cape,
today, not sunny.
Cape Town is in Canada somewhere. Like you guys are always like the opposite of Joburg weather. Every time you guys say, "Oh my God, it's raining," I look out my window. I'm like, where in South Africa is it raining? There's no way, right? And then we have Hope. Hi, Hope, from Gauteng, Tembisa. Nice to meet you, Hope. Nice to meet you. So we'll start our session at 5 past, so that we give everyone enough time. How Tebang? Where you dialing in from? Where you dialing in from, Tebang? So I see we have people from all around actually, not just Gauteng and Cape Town, right? We have Port Elizabeth, we have Rustenburg. That's awesome. So Tepang says he is from Midlands, Soweto, so he's in Joburg, but originally from Klerksdorp. I don't know where Klerksdorp is. I've heard about it, but if I were to point it in a map, I'd be so confused. Nice to meet you, Tepang.
That is two very opposite towns he's from.
Is it? Is it? I don't know where Klerksdorp is.
You need to do some of your exploring of your country, Gugu. Come visit Cape Town, road trip.
Maybe I really should. Then we have Alfred. Hi, Alfred here in Harrismith, Free State. He's in the Free State. So we have people from all around, Nicola. This is gorgeous. It's nice. Nice to meet you, Alfred. And to those who just joined, we'll start in a minute or so. We're just into introductions right now, so feel free to introduce yourself in the chats, or you can unmute and introduce yourself. And tell us where you're dialing in from while we wait for everyone to join. We have Naomi. Naomi says, "Hi, I'm Naomi from Joburg. Nice to meet you, Naomi. Nice to meet you." Okay. I think we are about to begin. Then we have, I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce her name correctly. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mpeo. Is it Mpeo? I'm from Midrand, Gauteng. Nice to meet you. Is it Mpeo? Did I say it correctly?
Oh, yes, it did.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you, Mpeo from Midrand. Think we can just. Oh, and then we have Tando later from Durban in YouTube. Hi, Tando. We see you. Hope you're good. Um. So, hello everybody. My name is Gugu, and yeah, welcome to today's webinar, Unlocking the Power of Data with IBM Skills Build. I'll be hosting you guys today, and I'm so glad to have all of you guys join us this morning. I know you guys are still in the chat introducing yourself. I see you guys. I see you, Fortune. Glad to have you all here. Um, just to give you guys a quick overview of why we're here today and what will be covered. So, as you can see in front of you, we'll start with the basics of data analytics because that's why we're here, right? We want to learn about data analytics, but we'll just give you a broader overview of the basics and the things you can actually get and what exactly it's all about going into there. So, you'll be hearing a few words that you don't necessarily know as yet if you haven't even started dabbling about in data analytics. But essentially, it's just us exposing you to it and see if that's something that you might find interest in. If you have so questions, we're just here to help you answer any questions that you might have had in the past or that you might gather during this presentation as well. And then we'll just be touching on unlocking the power of data and understanding why data analytics is so important, right? Then from there, we'll move on to the tools and techniques available to help you analyze data, the roles and machine learning in analytics, and how it can help you automate insights, then cleaning and preparing data, which is a very crucial step in ensuring that your data is ready for analytics, right? Then we'll go into advanced analytic techniques and ethics in data analytics, right? But we'll just touch base on it, right? Essentially, we just here trying to help you build a path so that we can help you answer any question and to help you get started as well using a platform called IBM Skills. So after we've gone through all of this that you see, we'll then introduce you to what IBM Skills Builds is all about, and we'll show you how it can help you gain the skills needed for you to succeed in the career of data analytics, right? Then from there, we'll may just introduce you to the platform, a quick walkthrough on what you can get, and maybe data analytics is not for you, right? But there's so many more other learning plans that you might find on IBM Skills Build that will be suited for you. So whether it is your web development, your cybersecurity as well. So we're not just limiting you to data analytics, but all of that you can get it on the IBM Skills Build, and they'll walk you through that. And then finally, we'll have a Q&A session, right? But during the session, feel free to jot your questions in the chats as we go along. We're just here to help answer any questions that you may have, right? But before we dive into the content, we just have a few announcements, right? So what you see on screen is something called an activity that we will require you to mark as complete. So a link has been posted in the chat. Labeled mark as complete, and if you do have a profile on IBM Skills Build, just log in and it will take you straight to this page that you see on the screen. And all you need to do is just, you see that red circle, just click on that, and then it'll just want you to input how long this session will be, which is like an hour, and then submit. And the nice thing with that is you'll be able to gain a certificate to actually say that you have attended this session with us, right? And you can show off the certifications on your LinkedIn or any of your social media platforms, just so you can build a good pipeline for yourself. But also for those who don't have a profile as yet, still do click on the link. It will just require you to go an extra mile as creating a profile on IBM Skills Build. If you do struggle or stumble across any problems during you creating a profile and trying to mark this as complete, just bear with us towards the end of the session. When the walkthrough happens, we will be there to help answer any questions that you may have, right? So yeah, then from there we have our upcoming events, right? So essentially what we do is we have webinars or workshops every week, right? And we have suited or have created a few ones for now December, right? And the December ones are not as hectic as the ones we have during the year, but the December ones are more fun, right? So we have gamified learning plans for team collaborations. So we'll be playing games just to help you build how it is working as a team through playing games, right? And then on our social media platforms from now or throughout December, we'll be posting just a few snippets, few reels on your Instagram, a few stories here and there, just a step-by-step guide to your success. So what you might find on IBM Skills Build, how to sign up, what's exciting, what's new as well. So find these on our social media platforms at Within Code. And then next week, we have a live coding session, right? So live coding, this is open for everyone. So if you're a beginner, right, and you just want to learn a few concepts on how to get started with just programming, we will be walking you guys through a language called Python. And also the nice thing is that it is gamified as well. So you'll be learning this concepts by playing games. So during the session, so it's going to be a very interactive session. Make sure you have your desktop, your laptop with you. Um, it is mobile friendly, but it's more advisable if, and do join if you are joining from your cell phone. It's okay, but just so you can walk along and click along as well, it is advised to have that with you. And then that's it from me. So let's get into the heart of today, right? Today is all about data analytics, and I have Zubair waiting, who will take us into a deeper understanding of unlocking the power with data. Zubair, over to you.
Thank you, Gugu. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. So, to start off with data analytics, right, there is a few things that you need to know. So, the most important thing about data analytics is knowing the different data types, right? So, if you are a student that maybe did some coding before, or you're actually deep into coding already and you know how to do like front end, back end, all of those things, right? For you to become a data analyst, that's not such a big step for you to take because you already know the basics, right? For those of you that don't know anything about coding or IT or any of those things, but you are interested in learning data analytics, right? I'll just go through some of the understandings, the basics that you need to know for data analytics, right? So the first thing, if you look at the slides, it says, what is data analytics, right? So data analytics involves gathering, processing, and analyzing data to uncover patterns and trends, right? So this allows businesses to move beyond institution and make data-driven decisions, right? So if you are a company that has people working for you, right? You have maybe a call center or you own like a school or something like that. There's a lot of data that gets thrown around. So there's, if you are in a school or in a TVET college or university, right? There's performance numbers from all of your students. There's how many students you have. There's a lot of data that goes into that. So there's always a person there handling that data and ensuring that all of those things are in order, right? So there are different types of data analytics, right? So there's descriptive analytics, there's diagnostic analytics, there is predictive analytics, there is prescriptive analytics, right? So for the descriptive analytics, this answers the question like what happened, So if you are a person that handles the data and something happens or a system crashes or something goes offline, right? You are the person that the boss or the person that is one of the higher ups, right? The managers, they will come to you and they will ask you, what happened? Why are we losing maybe money, or why is the performance dropping, right? So you are there to ensure that everything that is happening with the systems that are put in place are running smoothly, and you can actually give feedback on what is happening with the company or the organization, right? Then we move on to diagnostic analytics, right? So this is the person that investigates the reasons behind these events, right? So why did something happen? So if you have maybe a IT course that you're running, right? And all your performance numbers are dropping over the last couple of weeks, right? You need to be there to say, okay, we maybe had Wi-Fi issues, or there was maybe a problem with the coursework that we had, right? So you need to go through all of that data and ensure that you can give the boss or the manager a specific outline on what exactly happened, right? So that that information can be given onto one of the other analysts who can provide data for what you can do to prevent this in the future, right? So moving on from that, we come on to predictive analytics, right? So these are people that use previous data or historical data to forecast future trends. So if you are in a marketplace where you're working with crypto, or you may be like in real estate or something like that, right? Where data is always changing, and you need to actually look at what happened in the past to determine what will the market look like in the future. So if you want to become an analyst on cryptocurrencies or marketplace um, data, right? This is the course that you'll go into, or the career choice that you'll happen. So these people look at or put in algorithms to look at data in a specific way to ensure that when something happens in the future, you can actually kind of predict what will happen. So if a market is going to crash, if a market is going to go up, whether a company will gain more money, lose money, all of those things, right? Then we move on to prescriptive analytics. So this is the person that recommends action, right? So what should you do about certain things? So if you are a company that, for instance, again, works with cryptocurrency, right? This person is the person that is basically running everything, making all the big decisions. So they will ensure that everything is running smoothly, all the data is up to par, it's clean, everybody can basically look at it and know what is happening, right? So they are the ones, the decision makers in the company, telling everybody, okay, at this time you need to maybe buy stocks or you need to sell stocks, right? So these people are basically in the higher bracket of data analytics, right? So by understanding and leveraging this different types of analytics, businesses can make smarter, faster decisions, make the company grow better, right? And then on to the next slide. So the tools. So there is a couple of different tools you can use to learn data analytics, right? So there is the most popular ones, Tableau and Power BI. So tools like these are fantastic for visualizing complex data sets. So if you working for a company where you need to display this data to somebody, right? You maybe like how things look, like the way the website is designed, or you are a very visual person, right? You like things to look nice. This is something that you can actually go into. So it's not just working with the data, it's also putting it into graphs, tables, sheets, documents, all of these things to make it easier for the customer or the clients to actually look at this data, to make it easier for them to interact with reports, right? So if a business is maybe at the end of the year, like right now, where they need to look at, okay, what achievements have they done over the past year, what improvements can they make, all of these things, right? This is where you put it into a table or make like a graph where you can actually see exactly what is happening. So the tools like Tableau and Power BI, these are one of the best tools you can use if you are a beginner, right? And you don't really know that much about data analytics, then I would say that Power BI is one of the best beginner friendly tools that you can use. So it basically works with all of your sheets, right? You'll import a sheet, you'll be able to look at all your data. This is where you'll be able to manipulate your data, make sure that everything is in the correct data types, right? So this type of tool is very powerful and it's not that hard to basically learn and pick up, right? And you can use this for a business that makes sales or performance dashboards, right? So this is a very big tool that you can use that makes life much easier. And then uh, big data processes and analysis, right? So this is your hands-on platforms where you actually learn how to work with large data sets. So if you're working for a company that has over 1,000 employees, right, and you need to check the performance of each employee, maybe you're working at a sales company where you need to check how many sales one of your employees made, how long have they been working, all of these things, right? This is large data sets. So it's not something small where you maybe have your own e-commerce website or something where you're just looking at the sales, right? So now you're looking at people's performance, the times, how many things that they sold. There's a bunch of different things that you're looking at, right? And then also maybe how long have they been working for you. So the tools that you'll use for these larger data sets, right? You'll use like Apache Hadoop or Apache Spark. So these two are commonly used for process and analyze big data. So this can handle sheets with over thousands of lines of data, right? So these two make it possible to draw insights from data that can sometimes be too large or too complex to analyze, right? So like I said, maybe have about 10 sheets of 1,000 lines of data in each sheet, right? This can be very complex for you to actually go through and look at if all the data is there or if there's like corrupt data, right? And then also um, automating analytics or workflows, right? So how do you make it so that instead of you having to look at each line of code to make sure that everything is in the correct place, all the data types are the same, um, everything is where it's supposed to be, right? This is where automating comes in. So you'll have algorithms, different steps that you will follow to ensure that all your data is there and that you're not missing any data, right? And maybe also what should be in place if you are missing data. So if I make an example, if you may be looking at people's work days and you need to check, depending on how many hours your employees work, that is how much they get paid. So if one employee works for 4 hours and another one works for about 8 hours, right, they shouldn't be getting the same pay. But what if you have one employee that signs in, but when they leave, they maybe forget to sign out? What happens to that data, right? Do you add in a specific time? What do you do with it? So there's different things that you need to follow, different steps that you need to do to ensure that all your data is correct, right? So it takes some time for you to actually get specific steps in order. Just to get the basic steps there, it's quite easy. So if you are interested in learning data analytics, it's not that hard to understand, right? Especially if you are a person that have previous coding experience or if you are learning coding. So working with data is what you do every day. So it's not a big train smash if you are starting from the beginning. There is easy steps that you can follow to do this. And then also, if you want to do maybe hands-on work, right? Um, with the data visualization tools, if you want to get hands-on, ensure that you actually feel like, oh, this is something I want to do, right? you can use Power BI in its free form. There are some things that you won't be able to access, but to start off, you can use the free version. It is good enough for you to learn the basics. And if you want to like make out a table, play around with data, right? Something that I've actually done in the past is go onto ChatGPT, right? And just ask it to give you or generate a sheet of data that you can manipulate, right? And it will actually give you a sheet with a bunch of data that you can play around with. You can import it into Power BI. You can create your tables, your bar graphs, your pie charts, all of these things, right? And you can actually learn on your own with that. But if you don't yet know about the different types of data, right? Later on, I will be showing you a course that you can do on IBM Skills Build that will get you prepared for this. Or even if you feel like you do know all of the data types and you just want to see what it's like, I would advise actually first going to IBM Skills Build and going through one of the plans that I'll be showing you. This will actually make it easier for you to work with the sheets and ensure that you actually understand everything that is happening, right? And then just moving to the next slide. So introducing machine learning, right? So machine learning is basically a subset of AI or artificial intelligence that allows computers to learn from data and improve the predictions over time without uh, explicitly program things, right? So for example, a machine learning model can predict a customer's behavior based on past data, right? So if you are a person that shops a lot online or you use Takealot a lot and you maybe only use Takealot for tech things, so you're buying yourself maybe a new laptop or you're buying yourself a new keyboard or mouse or something like that, right? There are AIs or machine learning products that are a part of those things that you are doing to basically look at, okay, this is the data that I'm looking at. This guy or this woman is always buying things that are tech related, right? So the information that is going to be fed to you will be tech related things. If you're a person that always buying like kitchen appliances, maybe that is the information that will be provided to you to make navigating the app a lot better, right? Then there are different types of machine learning models. So there's supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So supervised learning is a model that is trained using labeled data like images or customer reviews with predefined categories, right? So if you look at a website that you maybe go onto and you see that they have that thing where it says like check this thing to make sure that you're not a robot, right? And they have maybe a bicycle on a few of the images and you need to click on all the images that has bicycles. So there is a predetermined answer that is looking for, right? So you are actually busy training an AI model on data. So that is something that a lot of companies use to train the AIs and make sure that it can actually look at the different types of data in a certain way. And then we have unsupervised learning, right? So this is where there's no labeled data and the algorithm tries to identify patterns on its own, right? Like customer segmentation. So this is where um, you're basically feeding the AI just a bunch of data and it's trying to make sense of what it's getting, right? Then we have reinforcement learning. So this type is used for decision-making problems, um, where a model learns by receiving rewards or penalties based on its actions. So if it gets something right, it will maybe get more storage, or it will get more RAM, or something like this. Or if it gets an answer wrong, it might get punished by maybe getting like a timeout, right? So just looking at it in a way where we're basically looking at it like a human, right? So you can train AI in similar ways. Then we have practical use cases in business. So, for example, machine learning is used in fraud detection, right? Where algorithms identify unusual transactions by learning the patterns like of previous data. So this is used in sales forecasting. So just looking at the revenue of past sales, you can actually predict what sales you'll get in the future. So if you're looking at, maybe you are selling phone cases, right? Depending on the data that you had previously, you can actually determine if a company will go broke or if they will actually be making money in the future, right? So if your initial thought was, okay, I'm going to sell 1,000 cases every day, right? And to make profit, I need to sell 1,000 and above. But previously, I've been selling only about 500, right? That means you're not actually making profit and the company will go down, or you can actually predict how many more you need to sell to make this up so that the business, sorry, doesn't actually lose out, right? So this is the practical use cases of businesses. And then moving on to the next slide, we'll go to the cleaning and preparation of data. So this is one of the most important things in data analytics, right? It's the cleaning and preparation of data. So before you can actually look at data and make predictions or put it into a pretty dashboard or something, right? You need to be able to read this data. So ensuring that it's clean and it's structured properly. Sorry. So the first thing, understanding the data quality, right? How do you assess data quality? By checking for accuracy, consistency, and completeness, right? So, like I said before, if you are missing data, right, or there's errors, or there's maybe a standardized format that a piece of data needs to follow, you need to ensure that all of these are accurate. So ensuring that, maybe going back to where you have employees that work and get paid hourly, right? You need to make sure that the times that they check in and they check out are the same. And by the same, I mean like the data types are all correct. So you can't have one as like, for example, now where you say 1st October and then in the next line you maybe have the 1st of the 10th, right? That is two different types of data. So to ensure that all of this data is the same, you will actually have to either write the algorithm or use the tools that are on Power BI or on that Tableau tools, right? Using those tools to ensure that all of the data is the same. And then also just ensuring that if there are any missing values, right? So if, for instance, you have in your data a person that is manually putting in dates and times, right? Making sure that if they do miss out something, so for instance, if you're looking at data where it says again, like the 1st of October, right? And the next person comes in and it just says the 1st. And then the third person comes in and it just says October, right? You need to make sure that all of that data is the same, right? So you are either going to be adding in the month or the day, ensuring that everything is the same, right? Then we move on to data wrangling techniques, right? So one of the most common techniques is data wrangling. So this involves transforming raw data into a usable format. So this includes removing duplicates and then dealing with the missing values or normalizing data. So, for example, ensuring that all the data is in the same format, right? And then if you do have duplicates, so a duplicate will sometimes come in where, for instance, again, with you having employees that sign in and sign out, right? If you have an automated system where somebody signs in twice, right? You need to make a decision on, okay, are you going to use the first sign in or the second sign in for this person, right? So depending on if they maybe left the building for a break, right? They went to go and get lunch or something and they actually signed out instead of signed in. Depending on what is happening, you need to ensure that this duplicate gets removed and you're using the correct one, right? So just things like this that data analysts work through on a day-to-day basis is it's a lot. So if you are a person that has a lot of patience with working with data, and you actually have a need for looking at something and looking and seeing the errors immediately, right? This is something for you. So if you look at maybe what an accountant does, right? This is something very similar where you're looking at multiple different types of data and you need to ensure that everything is correct, right? Then what are the tools that we can use for cleaning data? So Power BI has some tools that are built in, right, that you can use to clean the data, but then sometimes you won't be able to use some of these things. So if you are using a free version, some tools you cannot use. So if you are looking at learning something that you just want to pick up quickly on, right, you can use tools like Pandas in Python. So this is great for data cleaning. You can also use platforms like OpenRefine, which is a tool that you can use for designed. It's actually designed for cleaning and transforming large data sets, right? So if you are working with smaller things, if you're just starting out, you can use Pandas. But if you are looking at something in a broader format, you will use OpenRefine. And without this data cleaning, the results of your analysis might be misleading, or it can even be incorrect, right? So just looking at all of these steps, it's crucial that firstly, you know exactly what type of data you're working with, whether all your data is correct and whether it's all there, right? So these are the steps that are like kind of vital to data analysis. Um, I think this is the last slide from me. Yeah. So I'll hand you over to my colleague Nicola, who's going to take you through the business side of data analytics. Nicola, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear
Yes, you
me?
can.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Zube. Now let's talk about advanced analytics and how it goes beyond basic reports in business and predicts what's coming next in the future. So predictive analytics, of course, let's see what happens next. Imagine knowing when your next big spike is going to happen in the market. Like, of course, stores look at Black Friday and go, let's see what's going on there. With predictive analytics, it turns the past data into future insights, helping businesses manage inventory, plan marketing campaigns, and set smart prices. It's replacing guessing work with strategy. Text analytics and sentiment analytics. Sorry. Hear what the customer is saying. What do your customers really think? Text analytics sifts through reviews, social posts, and feedback to uncover trends, which is something I didn't know about before starting to read all about this. I just thought you could just throw everything into databases and be like, oh yeah, it's going to come out. I didn't know there's so many different ones. And then it takes the positive, negative, and neutral tones and it's listening to your customers without you actually doing anything, which is absolutely amazing. And then dashboards to make clear data, as Zube was saying, visualizing, where big businesses will make visualizing boards and they'll know exactly what they're looking at. The highlight key trends and insights, helping leaders make quick, informed decisions. Zube did take you through the visual tools, so definitely go and look into those. And then I'm going to go on to the next slide, Zube. Ethics in data. Sorry, I'm sorry, my camera's been a little bit weird and everything's slow on my end. So I'm going to turn my camera off. Data is powerful, but with power comes, you know what comes next. Let's talk about how to wield your data powers responsibly by safeguarding privacy and tracking bias head on, which I didn't know you could bias data. Ethical data use isn't the right thing to do. It's what keeps your customers trusting, happy, and coming back for more. So let's start with data privacy and security. Imagine your customers' data is like a treasure chest and GDPR is the dragon guard in it. What is your job? Be the knight who keeps it safe. Make sure your customers' data is anonymous. Like, don't go handing it out left, right, and center and getting those scammers to phone them. build build digital firewalls, make sure only the right people know what's going on. When a customer knows you're protecting the info, they'll trust you with more. Then bias in algorithms. This is insane in my part. I didn't know you could do this. Algorithms aren't perfect. Sometimes they pick up bad habits like bias data. It's like training a dog with the wrong commands. One fair result, you've got to spot those biases, call them out, and train your models to be better. Think of it as algorithm therapy. Make your data work for everyone. And then my new one, my favorite one is Ethic Framework, FAT. It's where it's at. Fairness, accountability, and transparency. It's unlimited ethical recipe. Be fair in your analytics, stay accountable for your decisions, and be transparent about how they've made. It's not just good business, it's how you show customers and stakeholders that you hold their data and have a solid background and etc. So I know it sounds like a buzzkill with ethnic and etc., especially when you go into like cybersecurity as ethnic hacker, but play smart, stay safe, and just watch your business thrive. I think we're going to now go into our skills build chat. So what brings us here today is IBM Skills Build. It is an online learning platform with free courses. Zubair, Google, and I are the admins to it, and this is why we want to share this great opportunity with you. With Skills Build, it is a less pressurized learning place where you're in charge of your own courses. And with that, you get data analytics, cloud computing, and AI, which I will share in chats. And whichever one you're interested in, it is on the platform for free. And you'll get a certificate and badges. These certificates you can put onto LinkedIn to demonstrate your knowledge to potential employers. And with the badges, you can also download an app called Creditly, and you can showcase all of them. It is a very, with that as well, sorry, the soft skill side of it is how to do teamwork. And this is where the gaming comes in. We want to share games with you that you can play with other people that demonstrates teamwork, problem solving, and how to chat. We're all nerds here. We all need these soft skills. So with that, I'm going to pass on to Zubair, who's going to show you how to access Creditly, the certificates, and our free courses.
Okay. Before I go on, I see there was a message in the chat saying that they can't see the slide. So there will be a recording after this, right? So I'm going to show you quickly where you can get the recording while I'm going through the website walkthrough. So if you did miss anything, right, there is going to be a recording where you can actually go back and look at these things. So let me start off. I'm just going to try and switch my screens. Can you see the sign up page?
Yes.
Okay. So with those of you that are not yet on IBM, right, and you want to maybe see what is available, you have to register first. So if you go to the sign up button at the bottom, right, if you click on it, it will change all of these tabs to sign up with, right? So you can either sign up with Google, your LinkedIn. If you have an IBM ID, you can sign up with that, or even your email. So the easiest one that we felt for you guys is to just sign up with Google. If your Google account is connected to your browser, right, you can sign up with this. So if you click on that, it will actually take you to fill in a few steps, right? So you will have to click on whichever account you want to log in with, right? If you are a Within Code student, please use that email to log in, as there is some extra information for you available. And then once you click on that, it should take you to a page to put in all of your details, right? So right now it's not showing up because I already have an account. So it will ask you for your name, your surname, your age, as well as where you are located, right? So this is just to ensure that we know exactly where you are from, so that we can see what type of information we can give you, right? And then also just your age, because there is different types of learning available for you. So after that, it will ask you, there will be another page that pops up to ask which language you prefer, right? And then once you submit all of that information, it will take you to this page over here that you can see right now. Let me just make it a bit bigger. Okay. So this is the home page for IBM Skills World, right? And on this page, you will be able to see how many hours you completed and how many digital credentials you've earned. And then it also has the resume learning. If you guys have any questions on this, do add it into the chat so I can answer those for you. And then while you guys do that, I'll just continue. And then if you want to see the things that you have completed, right, you will come to the top and go to progress and then completed learning, right? When you come into here, all of the things that you have completed, the learning plans, the activities, if you've joined any of our webinars before and you have marked those as complete, it will show up over here. So all of these things are the ones that you have completed. So all of these have a certificate for it. And all of this you'll actually be able to put onto your social media site. I'll show you or you should have actually seen the certificate before, but I'll show you how to get it later on. And then if you go to the search bar at the top, right, there is something that we've created for you guys to make it easier to find all of these things so that you can actually spend less time looking for things and more time learning, right? So if you just search WTC, right, the only thing that will be popping up is the channel, right? So it will say Within Code Training and Development Center. And if you go into this, okay, if you go into this, you will see at the top of each ticket, right, there will either be e-learning, learning plan, digital credential, or skill credential. So these ones are all the activities that is available for you. And then we also have the ones that says live online. So these are all of the workshops that we've done previously that are recorded, and you can actually go and have a look at that as well. So just to go through the one that we have available today. So if you look at Within Code Data Analytics Workshop, this is the one that we're having right now. So if you do go into this and you mark this as complete, right, it will ask you for your duration, how long it took, so you can add in if this thing went on for 2 hours or an hour, and then you can also add in the minutes. Once you submit this, right, it will say successful, and if you go to actions, you will see there's a tab that pops up with edit this activity, update completion, all of these things, right? So for you, it will just say view completion, right? And then update completion, add a rating, add a review. And then if you do have any questions or anything that you maybe found on the webinar that you would like more clarity on, right, you can add the question as a review, and we will be looking at this in the future. So to get your certificate, you'll go to view completion certificate. And this is what your certificate will look like. So it has your name on it, as well as what it is that you have completed, and then the amount of hours it took to complete and when you completed it, right? So this is what you can actually use to put on any of your social media sites. So if you're on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, any of those things, right, you can actually share this on there. And then if I can go back to the learning plan, the channel, sorry. The survey. Nicola, is the survey on here?
Yes, it is. It's under workshop survey. Look at the bottom.
Okay, I don't think it's up yet. Okay, so I think after this webinar, we should have it up, right? So the survey has a couple of links at the bottom of it that actually shows you all the workshops that we are looking at doing in the future, right? Is there any questions in the chat? Nicola. I'm just going to try and get the
Yes, there are a
survey to
few
show.
questions. Must I answer them or can you answer them? I'm literally adding it right now.
I can answer them.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Suzaki, do you guys provide training for data analytics? So, training, no. But essentially, what happens is, I think as next year as well, there's gonna be something called a PBL, right, for data analytics, where IBM will have virtual classes that they will take you through this project-based learning, and at the end of that data analytics PBL, you'll then have to submit a project and then get your credentials. So that's the type of training that IBM Skills Build offers, yeah, right? Do you have programs for data engineering? So essentially, what we do have is something called data fundamentals, and then we have the level 3, right, which is just data analytics advanced, right? So those are the two deep ones that we do have. Essentially, what you can do is you can try them out. I think they do touch on the same concepts. I know that IBM tries to be diverse when it comes to the learning or credentials. Can we print a certificate and add them onto our resume? Yes, yes, you can. With every credential or badge that you get from IBM Skills Build, you're free to use them, print them on, and add them on your resume or even post them on your LinkedIn. Yes. Feel free to jot any more questions while we head back to Zube.
Uh, so I found the survey, right? Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, we can see a screen.
So this is the survey that we'll put up on the channel, right? So if you do go to the survey, right, that also has a mark as complete. So if you come to the survey, right, this is where you can maybe just help us out by telling us what you found helpful in this webinar, what you would like to maybe see in the future, right? And then also, okay, it's asking me to go next. Okay, let's just go through this quickly. Just to see or show you. Okay.
Once you're still on that, we do have another question that says, is data analytics the same as data science? No. So data analytics and data science are not the same. They are related though, but they offer different things. So for example, data analytics focuses on analyzing existing data, right? And extracting that useful information so that you can see trends and patterns and creating graphs and so on. And then for data science, it's a process of then gathering that data, cleaning it, analyzing it, and creating models, things like machine learning and all of those other things. So that's the difference between the two. They do touch on the same points, though, every now and again. It's just that small distinction between the two. Yeah. Yes, Zube.
Okay. So on the survey, once you fill in all of the information, right? These are the upcoming webinars that we have, right? So next week we do have two sessions for live coding. So the one is on the Tuesday and the one is on the Thursday. So you can actually choose which one you want to come into. So if you are somebody that maybe just wants a refresher course, right? The one that we're doing on the 12th is more of a refresher course, because the one that we're doing on the 10th is going more into the basics of coding, right? So if you are interested in learning coding and you maybe just want to see what it's like, you can join us on the 10th. I will be going through all of the basics with Python, right? and then on the 12th I'll go into a bit more detail, right? So if you guys are interested in that, you can sign up over here. And then we also have the Festive Fun Gamified Learning. So that will be happening, if I'm not mistaken, on the 18th of December. Who can you just confirm with me that is the date?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so on the 18th of December. So this one is actually us playing games with you guys online, right? So most of the games have like coding in the back, right? So we will basically be playing the games with you and then trying to explain to you what the code will look like. And some of them actually displays the code once you've completed it. And then we also have one fun game that we added to IBM Skills Build called Enchained. So this is a escape room that actually helps with team collaboration, communication skills, all of these things, right? So there are two screens that will be displayed. So you can either choose to be player one or player two, right? And depending on which player you are, you'll get a different screen. And this will actually help you to explain yourself, right? Putting visuals into words so that you can work on how you present yourself, how to maybe explain things that you see around you, right? So this will work with your communication skills. And I think that, oh yes, and then also the videos, right? So we have short clips that will be going out, like Gugu said at the beginning. There are short videos that will be sending out on our social media sites. So this will just be there to show you what is available for you and what you can maybe look at. It's basically like trailers that we're releasing, right? Of the work that you can do in December. And I think that is it. Yep.
Thank you so much, Sube. And just to wrap up, you're not only limited to data analytics, as you said, you have been introduced to the platform called IBM Skills Build. So if you're interested in data science, go to IBM Skills Build and actually search data science. There's a lot of resources that you may actually get there. We try to put them in a learning plan so that you do have some sort of direction, especially as a beginner, to know where you're going and what you're doing. But essentially, the one that we sent you is called Data Fundamentals, which is not suited only for data analytics or data science. It just covers data in general, right? Just to give you the fundamentals of that. And just a few announcements. Do follow us on our social media platforms. We do send outcomes every now and again. If you have any questions about today, about any other day, or any other workshop that we might have or will have, here's our email address here at the bottom: ibm.skillsbuild@rethinkcode.com. And then if you want the recording rights, all you need to do is in the chats, um, there's something called mark as complete. So when you click on that link, you can mark it as complete, and we will then update it on a later stage where if you go to the activity, it will take you to the YouTube link of today's recording. So make sure that you mark it as complete so that you have it saved for yourself as well. And then when we do update it, you can actually find the recording on there, right? Um, do you guys have any other questions before we head out? Any questions or anything from you, team, that you'd like to highlight before we leave?
Yes, so just one thing. There was a question previously asking if we provide training for data analytics, right? So if you are interested in learning data analytics, right, the course that we're doing next week with the live coding, right, the one that is happening on the 10th, that one will actually guide you, right, on like put you like on a sort of a path, right, to learn data analytics. So the things that we'll be going through next week, it has the basics of data analytics in it. So going through data types, how to maybe manipulate data, right? So that is what we'll be going through next week, as well as a few other things. And you can use this information to help you with the data analytics things that you're looking into.
Yes, and
Hello,
the
everyone.
language.
Hi,
Hello.
can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
My name is Sakelama. I'm in a space of data analytics already. Also, I've been doing some projects, but now I've been trying to transit to data science, and also I've been doing project lately. But now I've been doing a self-learning basically. So now I've been looking to get in the industry to work there as a data analytics or data science. So now, do you guys maybe can give me advice or something or mentorship? But now I've been doing projects. I do have my portfolio on my GitHub. So now I've been doing projects, but now I just need to get in the workspace of data analytics and also data science.
Okay.
Also, I did applied mathematics and computer science. So now I just need to get more experience in a workplace, in a work environment, actually.
Okay, so what you can do, right, as well, also give you the floor, is please do email us. I know at Within Code we do have alumni who are actually in the space that might provide more information in terms of data science and how to get yourself into that space, or where to look, or where to start, or which projects to focus on. So please send us an email so that we can take that to them and then send those back to you. Zubair, do you have anything you wanted to add?
So like you said, now you're already in the data analytics space, right? So you know that there are different types of careers that you can go into with data analytics, right? One thing that I can advise you on is, depending on where you're going or where you would like to work, right? Do some research on the workplace and then try to create like a mini project on that. And something that you can do is, if you go actually onto LinkedIn, right? If you go onto the job sites, that they actually explain to you exactly what they're looking for. So when you do create your resume, try to structure it around what they're looking for. And then something that you can also do is add one of the projects that you've created into that resume, so they can see, okay, this guy, he actually looks like he will be a great addition. He already knows the simple things in data analytics. He knows how to do this, right? So that is just something that you can do while we try to get a better answer for you.
Yeah, please do send us an email so that we can start working on that as well. Thank you so much for your question. Any other question before we leave? Anything else from you guys? I think we didn't miss any questions, right? And here. Okay. I think that will sum up everything for this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Really appreciate spending our time with you guys, and vice versa. Hopefully, we get to see you again next week. And the nice thing is that you're going to be touching on a language called Python, which is usually a language that is used when getting into data science, right? So if you've never coded before and you actually don't even know what it is or what Python is, for example, please do pull through to these ones. You will not regret it, I'm telling you. And at least with the fundamentals that you'll gain there, and then you'll see from there a way forward. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Hopefully, I get to see you guys again next week. Please do take our survey so you can guide us into the things that you actually would like us to cover. We do bring experts also to come speak, people in the space. So be on the lookout for those as well. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.